Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming. Thoughtless casual gaming.
Hello, you are listening to Thoughtless Casual Gaming with Brett and Jace. Out of all the gaming podcasts in the world, this is definitely one of them.
You're making poor life choices.
And we appreciate that. We're a Geelong-based gaming podcast where we usually play some games badly and then talk about how bad we are at them. And it's been a couple of episodes since we've done an us episode. Like we normally talk hobby, about the hobby that we've done. Spoiler alert, not much. Or the games that we played, which in this case is a few. So we thought we'd go for a bit of a gaming update, let you guys know what's been happening, how we've been faring in our so-called games.
Yeah. Specifically, we are talking one of the game's nearest and dearest. So we're talking Blood Bowl. We're talking Blood Bowl 7s, which is by far the best way to play Blood Bowl. And we are talking the current Sevens League that we are both involved in to some degree or another.
Involved, an interesting word, but yeah, let's go with that.
So we are at what now round? We've played 3 rounds.
We've 3 rounds. Round 4 is coming up on Monday. So far, so good with this league. Like, I mean, it's been said before, but like the fact that we're doing fortnightly games nights at Throw the Dice, which is probably accounting for 90 to 95% of the games, which is fantastic.
It's glorious. To have, sort of, a dozen people in the store playing Blood Bowl for the league, like wanting to see what other people are doing and how their games are going and, all of that joy. It's the best.
Oh, and as a commissioner, the fact that I have not had to chase up anyone to play games is so good.
Yeah. What are you doing with all your spare time? Because if previous leagues were anything to go by.
I've taken up tapestry.
I took up tap dancing, so I guess we're both tapping something.
Well, there's got to be something in our lives that we're tapping, eh? So we're 3 rounds past. We're playing 6 rounds this league, and then we'll jump into the finals, and then we'll be looking at Sevens League number 3. Hopefully having some sort of trophy for the end winner of said league that they don't hold on to for 2 years because we don't run anything else.
Well, look, I am looking at the trophy, so it's definitely here.
Yes, it's been there for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is fair because I think before that it was at my place for quite a while, but only because I wasn't losing. Anyway, round 1. So just a bit of background. I am playing Corn in the Sevens League. Now, I saw at Thoughtless Bowl 1 how badly Corn seemed to work. The poor guy playing Corn was not having an awful lot of luck, and so I instantly thought, that's the team for me.
I don't understand. They're an amazing team. Like, they're glorious. It's so good. But anyway, if nothing else, they are a world of fun that I highly endorse for anybody. I
am enjoying them. That's that. Whether the results reflect that or not, I'm having a ball.
Look, and I think both of those points. I am currently playing Slan, Kislev Circus. Take your pick, depending on where which skin you like, right? And again, the theory with that was, let's take something that is a bit of a challenge. So we're playing in a league with a real mix of players that have played a little bit and some relatively new, a couple, or at least one I can think of that's playing their first day of the league, maybe two. And first games of tabletop Blood Bowl. So it's trying to strike that balance between something that's fun, something that's challenging, there's something that's going to keep us engaged, but also something that you're not just going to steamroll.
Yeah.
I don't want to play on easy mode.
I mean, talking back to that trophy and how it stuck at my place for 2 seasons, I didn't go out of my way, but like the first 2 seasons and this was full 11s in the leagues that we were running, I didn't lose a game. I drew a couple in the second season. First season, I won every single one of them. And that's not the way the commissioner of a Blood Bowl league should be playing.
Next you'll play the sort of Gumby Buybuster at a tournament and start spanking people at
that. Memories. Yeah, no, look, I definitely do not want to be winning these things. I think it was, I don't go out of my way to lose, let's put it that way. But at the same time, I want to play for something fun. I want to have a bit of fun with the people that I'm playing with. And it's Blood Bowl. Winning's not overly important.
No, winning is just who Nuffle decided to screw less, really. But fundamentally, the goal of this is to build a bit more of a Blood Bowl, scene, a community, and all that. To grow that piece. And if you're that person that just comes in and spanks the living shit out of everyone who takes an interest in the game, you don't get a lot of people coming back for game 2. So this is about keeping it fun and engaging for us, and just seeing, trying to grow a little bit more of a community.
That's it. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been part of something which, especially, leagues or days that are designed to help grow a community. And somebody comes along and just doesn't know how to play not to win.
Nice. Yeah, look, do we want to name names? Because I have names.
There are names, aren't there? But it's, that's... If you go all out to win at all costs, no matter what game you're playing, every
people
single
don't want
game,
to play you. Period. You're not a fun person. Please stop this. Find another hobby.
It doesn't grow any sort of community. In fact, it kills them. So we're all here to have fun, people. Let's just have fun.
And fuck, it's Blood Bowl, right? You are going to get screwed. Just roll with it. just. Sometimes you just got to bite down.
That's it.
So, round 1. That was a long time ago.
It was nearly 6 weeks ago.
Which is not that long in the grand scheme of things, which is glorious. Can we just, again, talk out the momentum this league has and how excited I am for it? Anywho, who did you play?
So, round 1, I played Alice. Now, Alice is playing Necromantic Horror for the first time. And Alice's playstyle is very much sure, there is a ball, but it's not that important. Let's just punch people. So, Necromantic Horror against Khorne. Now, Khorne, I have 7 guys. No, I have 8 guys on my team, of which 7 have Frenzy. I have no rerolls. This game was just a bash fest. It was us punching each other, and the ball was a secondary concern. One half I kicked to her, one half she kicked to me. The actual attempt at scoring, I don't think was anything. We just hit each other a lot. Now, the problem with Khorne is that you've got Frenzy, right? Now, Frenzy is one of those skills that works when it works, and when it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It is a blessing and a curse.
Yes. End result for round 1 for me was a 0-0 draw, which is fine. Draws happen. It's fine. It's not a loss. It's cool. I'm fine with this. However, there was a lot of injuries. In fact, there were 5 injuries caused all game. Now, I'm pretty sure that I was responsible for 3, if not 4, of the casualties in that game. The problem was only one of those injuries was on her team.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the casualty count, and according to the records here, it says Alice got 4 casualties to your 1, but I believe
Correct.
you caused a number of those ones
I
that are
caused at
attributed.
least 2 of my own. So the way that Frenzy worked for me so many times, and I lost track of how many times that game I would Frenzy, get a push, follow up, roll 2 dice, get a skull and a both down. I would choose to both down. I would go down. She would be fine. I would
You
get
would
injured.
break armor, yeah.
Yeah,
all
like
that.
it happened so many times. It was hilarious and very Corn. Corn cares not from whence the blood flows. And in that game, it was definitely mine.
That is glorious.
But at the end of the game, I mean, we had 6 games going on that night. We had everybody show up for the first night. 6 games going on, 2 of which resulted in draws. So I was sitting smack bang in the middle of the leaderboard, but also right at the very top of the most injured. So I was for the next closest one. I was 1.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm ahead on blood. Most of
accolades
it my own.
accolades. Corn is laughing. Like
Yes.
he is a happy little camper. So contrary to that, my first game was against Gertzy, who was running his human team. And as far as I'm aware, that was his first time of actually throwing Blood Bowl down. He played, on PC or Xbox or, pick digital platform here, but hadn't actually thrown tabletop down before. So there was a fair...
He'd had 1 game, as far as I'm aware, with Bradley, like a demo game. And that was pretty much it.
So he hadn't played Blood Bowl before. So that's what we're saying here. Because I don't know about you, but the demo game in store, you kind of get a feeling about whether the game excites you, but actually remembering any of the rules, no.
Correct.
No. So, and the other thing that the PC or digital version of the game is great for, but makes me fundamentally lazy, is it calculates the tackle zones, the dodge rolls, the assists and all that for you. So while it's a great way to understand the concept of the game, I feel like it doesn't always give you the detail that you need to then transfer to the tabletop. It's a secondary kind of learning curve that you hit. And that's effectively what he had for game 1, which is a pretty big call when you had 6 games and we were basically lined up on one big, long kind of giant table and all screaming at each other. So that's kind of the super hyped atmosphere that you got. Anywho, so there was a lot of him sort of going, wait, how's this working? Me going, no way. All right, let's talk tackle zones. Let's start again. So what's an assist? What's not an assist? What's all this kind of stuff? And kind of, again, spending some time walking through just that game and actually having to do the math yourself, of which there is disappointingly a lot of, and I'm not great at math at the best of times. So I apologize for all the things I got wrong. Effectively, though, I am always a better coach when I am coaching my opponent rather than my own team. And so through all that, and through the situations of, okay, you could do that, but also why don't we look at something else you could do instead, because that's an infinitely better option. And even through a couple of real attempts to score myself, there was some pretty intense cage blitzing. There was some amazing attempts at doing all of the leaps to get in all of the positions to sack a ball, grabbed it, tried to dodge out, and sevens is brutal. No rerolls, and no rerolls with leap. This is fundamentally where I think the Slan team is mildly terrifying to pilot, because you're so tempted to go, I could just leap over there. I mean, I could dodge and dodge and dodge. I don't have dodge and I don't have reroll, so let's not do that. But I could just roll 1 dice and I only have to make 1 roll and I can just leap there and suddenly I have more assists and all that jazz. So
I feel you. Like with Corn, it's very much, okay, I want to make this block. But if that fails, then I've got to think of it. And like that's the same with any team. I'm going to make this block, but if it fails, this is what's going to happen in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But with Corn, it's like, I'm going to make this block, But if it fails, I need to know what's going to happen.
But if it succeeds,
If it's a push and then it fails over here, I need to know something else that's going to happen.
yeah, you've got to go through the matrix a little bit. Which is, look, it's the joy of the team. It's why they're fun. But effectively, the way this played out is my bullshit attempts to sack a ball from a cage and leap out did not go according to plan. His plan of passing to a catcher and running it down the pitch and putting it in the end zone was a little bit more safe. It was a little bit more effective. And I ended up as a 1-0 loss for the first game. So casualty wise, it's 1-1. The casualty I caused was a no long-term effect, but I had a catcher out for the next game as well. So net loss on both the scorecard and the casualty count.
Gotcha. All right. It's difficult, isn't it? So going into round 2, I was not overly successful with my 4 guys that got injured. Only 2 of them were out for the first game. Another 2, so including a Bloodseeker, that's what they call it, a Marauder.
Yep.
Which one's which?
The Bloodseekers are the strength 4.
Yeah, so I was down a Bloodseeker for my
Right.
game 2.
You want those? They're good.
Yeah, I know. And I was down another guy for game 2. So I actually went into game 2 with a journeyman. Yeah. Which I thought, yeah, whatever. He's got loner. I haven't got rerolls. Whatever.
The journeymans are actually not that bad.
No, they're not
Like,
that bad in
it's
sevens.
fine. It's just another player.
Yeah. So I played Yelf with his Lizardman. Now, I think I said at the start, like, corn cares not from whence the blood flows. So this game, the dice went in my favor as far as casualties go. Now, I had the ball kicked to me in the first half, and then he reasonably quickly got it off me and then managed to score with a skink, which is what Lizardmen do, right?
That is exactly how they play. Yep.
Yeah. In the process of doing that, I had somehow found my block dice and injured a Saurus and another skink. So by the time he's kicking back to me, about halfway through the first half, he's already down to 5 players. Now, I couldn't quite get the ball in the first half, which is fine. But I kicked to him second half and then managed to sort of trap him. Like the skink was going around and I managed to pull off a blitz, I think, on the skink before he scored again. But he was still at 5 players. I was still at 7. And I just managed to tie people up. I injured another skink just out for the game. So I clawed back 3 injuries and then managed to get the ball off the skink relatively close to his end zone, like 3 squares away. I tied up his Sauruses. I tied up the rest of them. I moved a Beastman close enough to pick up the ball and potentially run it into the end zone. And it's a 3+ pickup, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 turns to do this.
Mm-hmm.
First turn.
Houses.
Yeah. What is it? It's over 50%, right?
Oh.
So, first turn, failed the pickup.
Okay.
He does everything he can to get out of like this cage of corn guys that I've built around the rest of the team.
She'll be henceforth known as the cornfield.
The cornfield, that's right. So, I mean, he was dodging away with his Sauruses on a 5+ to try and get there. Like that's how desperate he was, right? That obviously didn't work that often. I think it worked once. But I think, yeah, look, there was fending in there as well and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, turn 5, my second attempt to pick up the ball and run into an end zone for a tie. 3+ again, failed to pick up. By this stage, I had 3 guys hanging around that ball. Again, he couldn't dodge out of the way and get there in time, and so I had one more 3+ roll that I needed him to pick up the ball, and finally made it. Scored in turn 6. 1-1 draw, which is not what I expected from Lizardman. I expected to be a good 2 or something touchdowns down, but the casualties was 3-0. So I all of a sudden found myself still on top of the scoreboard for the most injured team, but also tied for the most injuries caused. So I think that's kind of fair for Corn.
You are doing exactly as your deity would want.
Exactly. I'm doing God's work. God of murder.
The best kind of God. I mean, really, aren't they all really God? Anyway, my round 2 game was against Dylan's Dark Elves. So fun little setup he's got there because he's running no witch elf. Like what the actual hell? So he's running an assassin. So it's 2 blitzers. The assassin, 3 blitzers and assassin. Sorry, that's his 3 positionals, which look is mildly terrifying. Just because you've got 3 edge, 2+ guys with block off the bat.
Yep.
Reasonably solid. I have no actual combat skills to speak of, but hey, we're both pretty intense on the scoring, and we had a practice game before the season kicked up. It was so much fun. That was a bit of a score fest. This one was a little bit different. So Dill, again, I had a journeyman for this one, but it doesn't matter because it was just a lineman, but it did mean I was a catcher down. Dill wins the toss, chooses to kick to me, which is happy days, and look, probably not a terrible idea. And I just go, fuck it, let's score some touchdowns, and played full blown offense. Went the side cage on the edge of the edge of the pitch, and was 3 turns in with a touchdown. It was glorious. Dylan, I then kick back to Dylan, and he does something relatively similar, and just returned fire really, really quickly. And
that's what elves do.
That's kind of where the game stalled. So we're both, by halftime, it's 1-1.
Yeah.
I kicked Dylan, and then nothing happened. I mean, lots of stuff happened, and frankly, his assassin went a little bit bonkers and decided to stab everybody, and I had too many players off the pitch to do me any good. But he just couldn't quite capitalize on it. I couldn't quite capitalize on attempts to sack the ball. It was just a little bit too much going on, and just absolutely nothing happened. So we ended up at full time with a 1-1 draw. No casualties to speak of, and all of the action really happened in the first half.
So you technically could have gone home halfway through.
I mean, technically the score wouldn't have changed, but watching nothing happen even in Blood Bowl is so much fun.
Yes. Especially with an opponent like Dylan.
It was glorious, and it was just, it was actually a really tight game. The defense play on the second half was actually really, really good, and it was how many tackle zones can you stack on a ball? How do you need to, it was getting to the stage where who do we need to block to push a player into a spot so they could assist a thing or not? It was all that kind of jazz. So you were getting that. I remember Dylan's first season of Blood Bowl. And his second season, and actually probably his third season. What season are we up to now?
6, I think.
Yeah. So 4th and 5th as well. And this season, I feel like he has turned a corner. He is done something. He's appeased somebody, and he's just gone, no, you know what? This game's actually fun, but it's also fun when you play it properly. And you put down the goblins, and you actually do some stuff. And he's doing some really good stuff, and his game has lifted a bunch. And that was really me not pulling punches at all. I would have quite happily scored again. Could I have? Alas.
Dylan has basically. It's when he stopped playing goblins, isn't it? I mean, goblins are as fun as they come, but you're not going to win very much, if at all.
And I feel like it really does encourage you to take your foot off the pedal and just play for the funds, which is glorious. I highly encourage it. It's the best. But also, when you're just learning Blood Bowl or you've just played a little bit, it's not a great way to actually pick up some of the intricacies of the game. And I've been hounding him for a little bit just to try a different team, just to play something else. And he's finally picked up the Dark Elves, and he's gone, I get it now.
Mm.
And you can tell there's that kind of little light bulb moment, and it's glorious.
Those Dark Elves, they're a decent team. I've never played with them, but I've played against them enough times, and I do appreciate the hell out of them.
You had one in your Chaos Underworld.
No, that's true. I did have one Dark Elf in my Underworlds team when I played, and he did shitloads.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sitting now currently on a loss and a draw.
And I'm still on 2 draws.
All right.
Yeah.
Round 3.
Round 3. Now, round 3, I played Lockie's Dwarves. And look, dwarves are the, I don't want to say joke, but like there's so many memes about dwarves and dwarves players, right, in Blood Bowl. And for me, I've played them, and I've played against them a bunch of times, and they're never my most enjoyable matches.
No. They're
very samey. You can't get through a dwarf's armor, and they just plod up the field and eventually will score if they're doing things right?
Yeah, and then it's just a how can you and how much dodge are they negating, and
Yes.
whether you can outspeed them for a turn or so to keep ahead. But the game plan going in is the same. The game plan for the dwarves is the same. But the flip side to that is how bloody excited was Lockie for the boxer dwarves.
Look, this is why I feel bad, because he was so excited about them, and like he just got very revved up, and half of me was standing there when he was talking about getting the dwarves, and half of me was standing there next to him just going, I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah, I don't want to kill this buzz.
No,
maybe
I should have.
I don't want to piss on that parade. Play what you're excited to play. Like that's very much it. But yeah, it's and he played Skaven last season.
Yeah,
so
that's the issue. I mean, he's gone from playing Skaven, who are a flimsy team, but they score and they're fast and they can do a whole heap of things. And dwarves do none of that.
And fundamentally that was part of the attraction. Like he wanted to play something different.
Mm-hmm.
And he did absolutely pick something different. And I sat in the same space going, no, don't say it.
Yeah.
No, he's excited. Don't rain on that parade. And here we are, 3 rounds in, and you get to play the dwarves.
3 rounds in, I get to play the dwarves, and I finished that game. And how I felt about the dwarves when Lockie was getting so excited about them is kind of now how Lockie is feeling about the dwarves. The poor guy, he's not enjoying it. I think we'll be seeing the return of Skaven or something similar next season.
Yeah.
But yeah, dwarves, look, they're tough. Their armor is, I don't think I broke their armor at all game. It was just, I was lucky. I got some down, but
it's one cash in there, so
not for me.
Oh no, there's one for here. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Disregard.
I did not. I don't think I got a single dwarf off the field. I
No.
might have stunned one or two, but I don't think I even KO'd. Oh, maybe I KO'd one
Look
from
at
memory.
you.
Yeah,
Oh
I know,
no.
right? And this is, this game. The dice that I was rolling in the first game kind of came back to me, so there were a lot of both downs that I was rolling. And what's the thing about dwarves? They've all got block.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Block
but
tackle, big skull.
yeah, like so. Both downs. He was
I don't
fine with
care.
both downs. I was not so much.
Sign me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Look. Anyway, the game itself kicked to him, and then he had his whole cage thing going, and then somehow I managed to get couple of turns in. I managed to get a blitzing Bloodseeker
Mm-hmm.
around the back and getting a hit on his ball carrier.
All right. This
All
is
right.
sounding good. This is.
And for some reason, that was one of the punches that worked in my favor. So I punched him. He went straight back, heading towards my end zone, but straight back, straight down. I follow up because I'm Corn and I have frenzy and I have no choice. The
You
ball
would have
bounced.
anyway.
I would have anyway. Yeah, absolutely. Ball bounced and it bounced into the hands of the Bloodseeker,
Ooh.
who promptly caught it. And I kind of looked at Lockie and I'm like, oh, that was unexpected. And then, so for a couple of turns, he spent, he was getting dwarves next to me, and I think he did it twice, and I would just blitz with the Bloodseeker, manage to get the guy down, and then just run the rest of my movement towards his end zone. So somehow managed to score there. And then when he kicked to me, I kind of caged up and moved the corn gore up, and like this is a 2-0 win to me, and it seems really weird. I did, yeah, like you said, I had one injury against me. It happened to be another Bloodseeker who is out for next game, and it's my number 2 who has got 3 of my 4 casualties so far. So he's my big hitter. So he's out next game, which is a shame. But yeah, it's a 2-0 victory under my belt. And it feels bad.
That wasn't the plan.
It wasn't the plan. And
I
poor
mean,
Lockie with his...
you're basically playing for a 1-all draw. Like, that's what you go in expecting.
Oh, yeah. Like, especially, corn versus dwarves. Like, it's when you're going in, it was going to become a just giant clusterfuck in the middle of us punching each other and eventually me going down because he's got the better armor and he's got block. And that's kind of what happened. It's just somehow I managed to score as well.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, dwarves. They're a thing. Actually, as a complete random aside, I played a Xbox game against a Chaos Dwarf, just AI opponent. My God, even the AI, and the AI is not good. But
No.
dwarves are just not the fun game. I played a season with Chaos Dwarves, and they're the fun dwarves, and then
They are the fun dwarves because at least there's a bit more going on. You've got your
you've got
bull
non-dwarves.
centaurs and your well, that's it. You've got 2 non-dwarves.
And I've got hobgoblins and stuff. But yeah, the dwarves are just so goddamn reliable. And I think fundamentally that is my problem. Anywho, that is our distaste for dwarves. My round 3 game was against Alice's Necro team. So, look, it was an interesting matchup going in. I knew that she potentially out-hit me. By potentially, I mean definitely. Between the wolf and the golem and the wraith, ugh.
It's a bit of it. Necro is just one of those teams, isn't it?
So good. So good. And then the scoring potential between the wolf and the ghoul. So it had it all. So knowing full well that was going to be a really tough game. And I feel like the game I had with Alice was almost the opposite of the game that you had with Alice. So remembering full well what happened, and I don't, let's not pretend. No, the way this played out is, again, Alice wins the toss, kicks to me. Or I win the toss and choose to receive. One of those two. Same result. And a little bit of a mess around. I've got both my catches now, so this is glorious. But she really decides that she doesn't like the catches and wants to beat up on them a little bit. No fun for me. So somehow a blitzer ends up with the ball, and the blitzer is the one that scores my touchdown. Relatively quickly afterwards, though, I flick back to Alice. Wolf gets the ball and just legs it and does the Wolf thing. And, so again, we're sitting at 1-1 pretty early on. And that is where both of our dice decided just to go out and have a drink and leave us to our game. So the rest of the game was me trying to murder a wolf before I did it again, and failing abysmally. Alice just removing most of my team. Look, she only got 2 casualties in that instance, and neither of them were severe, but there was a lot of players not on the pitch. And us failing every essential role that could involve us getting closer to scoring, to literally the point where both of us were trying to pick up a ball and both of us were clearing all the tackle zones around it first, and for 3 or 4 turns with 2 or 3 plus pickup rolls, no, that ball is going to stay on the ground. In fact, it's going to bounce off a bunch of players and then go back to where it was. Every single leap, I'm just going, it's a 2+ leap. I already failed the last 3. This one's fine. Nope. No, not at all. And she was having exactly the same luck. So that second half was just a comedy of errors as 2 teams completely failed to do anything of value. Both had any number of opportunities to score. The game could have gone absolutely either way, but neither of us could actually capitalize, pick up the ball, dodge to the place that we needed to dodge to. Like, it was just ridiculous. So many goddamn ones. So that ended up in a 1-1.
So just having a quick look at the standings here. All 3 of Alice's games have ended up in draws.
She is good. I'm trying to work out whether she's doing it on purpose, but she's consistent.
She's very consistent. So, end of 3 rounds, we are sitting with 2 teams that are undefeated. So, Gertzy's Humans sitting at the top of the leaderboard, closely followed by Jared's Skaven. So, both on 3 wins, both on +3 touchdowns. So, Gertzy scored 5 against 2, and Jared scored 7 against 4.
What the hell?
The where it comes in to Gertzy being on top is the fact that he's got 1 casualty for and 1 casualty against, whereas Jared's got 1 for and 2 against. So he's down on casualties, which just bumps him down. 3rd place is James with his lizards. So James is doing extremely well, and then hit Jared Skaven in turn 3 in game 3, and that was a 3-2 touchdown fest, right?
Yeah.
4th place is me.
Stop it. What are you doing there?
I don't know. Well, it's going to change because in round 4 I am playing against James's Lizards and I'm a Bloodseeker down.
That's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not good at all.
You need to keep those guys on the pitch. Like, lose someone else.
I know, right?
The Seekers are the good ones, right? Look, it will be interesting though, because I am now trying to work out who James has played. But again, Lizardmen, as much as they're a fun team, they're a team I really, really enjoy. I feel like the plan going into playing against Lizardmen is the same, regardless. And I'm just trying to work out who he's played and whether they've worked that out yet.
So he has round 1. He played Lockie. Round 2, he played Val with his Wood Elves. And then round 3 was Skaven.
Okay, so no one's unlocked I mean, Jared potentially, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now. The Lizards start playing against some other players as well. Such a fun team. I really, really like them. But when you've got two types of players, the hitty kind and the scory kind,
Yes.
one of those gets you ahead on the leaderboard.
Yes. And one of them becomes the target.
So, all right. So you're sitting in fourth at the moment. That's a bit
Sitting on
fun.
fourth, I've got 90k inducements for the next game too, because I'm a Bloodseeker down. So I've got to work out what I'm going to do there. Number 5 is Dylan's Dark Elves. So
Win draw loss. He's almost as consistent.
Yep. Underneath him, Yelf's Lizards, and then Moose's Shambling Undead. They're all sitting on 4 points. 1 win,
So-
1 draw, 1 loss. Moose is at the bottom because he's 5 touchdowns for 5 against. Dylan is on top of Yelf simply because I slaughtered Yelf's team when we played, and he's down on casualties.
Right.
Yeah.
So then that's where we hit the draw of the draw fest of Alice's Necro.
Yep.
I'm in a very unrespectable 9th position, with a loss and a couple of draws, and then Val's Wood Owls. I did not expect to be this far down.
No. So Val has had, from what I've seen, he's had a treeman that has a habit of rooting itself fairly early on. I'm pretty sure in the game against Gertzy last round, his tree elf rooted itself on turn 1.
This is again the joy of sevens and the random skill progression. This is his Dauntless Treeman.
Yes, Dauntless treeman with safe hands.
I love it.
It's the most expensive player in the league at the moment, and
so
both
useless.
of those skills are not great for him.
He's absolutely useless. I love it. So Val, I expected him to be bounced around the top, but we'll see what happens in the next couple of games. Then what we've got? Where are you? I've just lost the page.
So after Val is Clinton's Dark
There it
Elves.
is. Yep.
Now Clinton's had a bit of bad luck with the Dark Elves so far. He had a 3-1 loss last game to the Lizard team. So that's hurt.
Yeah. And then poor Lockie.
Poor Lockie on the bottom with his dwarves. But we've got a couple. I mean, the most Val's team is 765 team value, which is just nuts. Absolutely nuts for a sevens league. It's 105k more than Moose's Shambling Undead, who comes in second.
That is glorious.
Yeah. And that tree is getting drafted at any point.
I feel like he's just piling skills on it to hopefully draft it. Like he's trying to force it now.
Well, the thing is, like, he has got 50k. I think he bought a thrower. Bought a 95k thrower recently. And I'm like, okay, maybe he's giving up on the whole tree thing. Anyway, Jared is in the lead with the most touchdowns on 7, closely followed by James on 6, and then a couple of teams on 5. Best defense, least touchdowns scored against. That's me. Only 1 touchdown scored against me, which was the Yelps Lizards. I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, most casualties, Alice with 6, followed by me with 4.
Yeah.
Most injured, me with 6, followed by Mark with his Lizards with 5.
Most of those inflicted by you.
3 of them inflicted by me. Yes, that's true. Rest of it's all pretty stock standard, but it's a fun league so far.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. So I'm looking at next game. I think I'm playing Yell's Lizards, which will be a fun little Yeah, a different game again, different opponent. I haven't played Yelf before, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, he's a
Um,
good fun guy to
it's
play.
going to be, yeah,
Like
super.
everything went wrong for him, and like in the game against me, I injured 3 of his guys. One of his guys got drafted in game 2, so which I think was a Saurus as well. Like just the dice did not go his way, and yet still came out of that. He's like, that was really fun. I mean, yeah, it was fun, but like, there's a degree of less fun when everything goes against you in a game.
Absolutely, it's
But,
harder.
yeah,
Man,
he was good value.
I am looking at round 4. It is going to be a cracker. So we've got Val's Wood Elves and Jared Skaven, and forgetting where they are on the ladder, that matchup is actually juicy and rife for a score fest.
Potential touchdowns every second
That could be
turn.
crazy. Gertzy and Dylan's Dark Elves. This
Again,
this could be where the humans come unstuck, because that's a rough, like that's a tough matchup for. I mean, I would happily play either team against them, but that would be a game that you went in kind of pucker and ready. Who else is the Dark Elf Dwarf match is glorious with
yes.
Clinton and Lockie. That is going to be an absolute cracker of a game. I think they're both just going to have a blast.
Yep.
And I feel like it's a chance for the dwarves to do what the dwarves do. So we'll see how that plays out. And then the Dead Off.
Yes. The undead against the necro.
Yeah. I reckon I am predicting some shake-ups on the leaderboard.
I hope so. Like, well, like, not for the sake of I really want these guys that are on top of the leaderboard to go down. I don't.
No.
I don't want that. But I want to see I want to see this league be anyone's.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be interesting. I mean, I'm looking at the games, and yeah, there's a few that are anyone's, and will shake up the leaderboard if it goes one way or another. So it's super juicy, and only Monday. It's not far away now.
No, only a couple of days. Glorious. Itching for it. Itching for it.
Do you reckon we could start up a second leave to play on the off Monday? Because
Yes.
yeah, that's a thing.
Look, Dungeon Bowl's a thing.
Oh,
And speaking of Dungeon Bowl, I did get a game in. So I'll talk about it briefly. I played Alice. So I was using a College of Death team. So Shambling Undead / Necro. She was using College of Life, which is everything. What is it? Nurgle, Snotling, Wood Elves, Halflings. Yeah. Only the second game I played, and it was a bit of fun. Again, the same thing happened in the first game. The ball was found in the second chest, and then it just turned into a huge pile up in the dragon room. And what happened this game was the dragon took a liking to my team and continually knocked them down, and then just didn't do shit about her team. So she eventually ran it through, and I made a last-ditch attempt with a golem, which had to go for it twice to get into the corridor that the war dancer was running down with the ball. Made both go for it, stuck in there, and then the war dancer runs up, leaps over the top of him, dodges away, scores a touchdown.
This was when I got the frantic message going, wait, how does leap work?
Yes. Like leap is the Blood Bowl joke of a skill. And anytime anybody asks, what skill should I take with X? The answer is always leap. Doesn't matter what player it is. That's the joke answer for everything. But it's the first time I think I've really seen it used. And we were like, wait, how does this work with regards to tackle zones and shit like that? And so, yeah, I frantic messaged you. You didn't answer straight away, so I was like, I
actually have to
see if I can work it out from the book, which I think I did. So.
Yeah, look, it's not hard. It's just not as batshit broken as it used to be. So, yeah, I'm like, because I think, the messages you got from me were a quick explanation of Leap, but then also, wait, why are you asking about Leap? Who's playing a game? What's going on here?
Yes. Where is this game happening?
How quickly
then,
can I be there? Uh,
well, that was, when was that? That was Saturday I played that. And then Monday, we had plans for a fairly uncomplicated, easy 5-player Dungeon Ball game,
it's going to be stupid.
which was going to be absolutely nuts. And there were going to be people getting teleported off the game, like left, right, and center. And I was very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, you couldn't make it and Dylan couldn't make it. So it turned into 3 players. And I had a couple of days, for want of a better term. I proceeded to have a couple of days after these couple of days. But anyway, so I was quite happy to sit and watch Matt and Alice play. And it was pretty much almost a mirror match. Like, Matt has the Shambling Undead, obviously, because that's what he's playing in the league. He also has half a Necro team because I split the box with him. So he was running College of Death against Alice's College of Life. And I mean, a couple of things to take from this game. The ball was in the 6th chest. Like, it was fantastic. It took ages for it to come up. And then eventually, because it was the 6th one, they obviously knew where it was. A white managed to get to it. And then it was just, Alice was clogging up the way to her end zone, and Matt was trying to get guys in and try and clear some sort of way. He ended up like jumping back and forth on teleporters like nothing else, trying to find different ways in. And but eventually pretty much got most of Alice's team off the pitch a couple of times, from them teleporting to the wrong spot or teleporting into the portal that they had teleported from and then getting lost into the ether. So eventually he was able to just knock the last solitary war dancer out of the way and trundle through with his white
Yeah.
for the touchdown.
Definitely need more Dungeon Ball and no ridiculous number of player Dungeon Ball.
Yes, we need to get that 5-player going.
So pumped for that, and then life happened, and I was very angry. I was literally doing that thing, walking around the house just kicking things, angry at life. So there is a lot of Blood Bowl getting played, and it is glorious.
Oh, more Blood Bowl is good Blood Bowl.
Which probably segues very nicely into more Blood Bowl that could be played.
Exactly. By you.
So,
dear listener, if you're still with us, if you haven't turned off.
Yeah, and assuming you're somewhere in a vague geographic region.
Yes. So, May the 5th, May the 14th. So, not that far away. What is it? It's like
a couple of weeks?
Just over 2 weeks away. Thoughtless Bowl 2 happening at Throw the Dice here in Geelong. We have 20 spots available. We have 6 left. I think there's still 6 left at this stage. There might be less than that. Going to be a fun day of 7s. Like Thoughtless Bowl 1, we had a ball doing, and we're upping the ante on this one. Like you may have seen or noticed that we did an episode a while back on the Players Pack. If you've listened to that, or if you've looked at the Players Pack, there's a little bit different. You've got extra skills and stuff. We have plans for this one, and we are as excited as can be.
I am so damn excited. The only thing I can't decide is what team we're going to play as a potential, in case we have an odd number situation happen.
Can we get 7 beer balls?
Well, I feel like, yes, but I feel like, there's probably a restriction of it. We should use the full 600K.
Yeah.
Or close to the point where we're not getting ridiculous inducements. Mm-hmm. Beyond that, I am open to stupidity of the highest order. So obviously it needs to be a legal team, so 4 positionals and then a bunch of linemen. Max, your actual team value, so we're not just giving away a whole bunch of points. But apart from that, let's go silly.
What if speaking of silly, what if we go halflings
Mhm.
and then we get a treeman, and then for the skills we put Dauntless on the treeman?
No, we can't put a secondary on a Treeman. We put that in the players back.
Damn it. Sorry. I'm just trying to emulate you, Val.
Aren't we all? Like, that's
Ah.
basically my life. And I don't know what I want to play, but I need to do something silly.
Yeah. No, silliness will be a thing, but also a good day worth of Blood Bowl 7s and fun and hilarity and hopefully some decent prizes and stuff. We don't want to say too much about what we got planned just yet. That'll be for the people that turn up to see, and then for us to gloat about after the event.
I like it.
Yeah.
There is definitely some plans, guys. Get excited, get involved, get in. It's a day of Blood Bowl 7s. Like, what's not to like, really?
That's it. I mean, that photo you sent me earlier just made me very hard. And and then that photo that you sent me about the Blood Bowl thing too, that made me equally as excited.
I agree on both counts.
Dear. Anyway, Thoughtless Bowl 2, get on it, have a look on our Facebook. And if you're interested, you'll be able to see the event there. You'll be able to see the players pack. $15 entry, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. Full day, 4 games.
Yeah. Get involved, guys. The last one was so much fun, and I had to run and play in it, and it was even more fun that way. I was so pumped. I'm trying to work out whether I can play in this one.
We'll
I had a blast. So the other thing, actually, because this will likely come out with an extra day to spare, we currently have a giveaway.
We do. Are you expecting to get this out before the giveaway is finished?
I am hoping to, but sure.
Okay, so let's just plug it anyway. So, Throw the Dice, we've mentioned them once or twice. They have kindly donated a Conquest starter box. We have done 2 episodes about what we think of Conquest and what experts think of Conquest. But this is one hell of a box. It is one insane amount of plastic crack for what seems to be a really good game. I'm trying to resist.
It is a legitimate problem. I do not need another game in my life, but I kind of want one. It's an issue.
This is right up your alley. After everything we've researched, inverted commas, and everything that Reese said on the previous cast, like, this is right up your alley.
It ticks a lot of boxes, but this starter box, the 2-player starter set, is bonkers. It is huge. It is jam-packed full of stuff. It's got big stuff and little stuff and very pretty things. So all the things you would need for yourself and a friend to start playing Conquest.
All you need is a friend.
Sorry, we cannot help you. Or you could become a Patreon and we might have to play a game with you. And then you could make us play Conquest.
I'd be for that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So yeah, if you want a chance at winning this, just jump onto our Facebook page. Again, there are 2 posts, 2 possible ways of getting entries into the giveaway. We will be drawing that early next month once I have enough time to stick all the names on a wheel and make it work. Test it before we actually do the live draw, because I don't want the live draw to be too many names, can't see it, can't work out who's won, anything like that.
I don't see a problem.
Look, yeah, I want it to be perfect. So we'll be drawing that sometime early, so I'd say next week sometime, and I'll do it live on Twitch so that
keeps us honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So 2 possible ways to get entries into it. You can also get free entries if you are a Patreon. So, if you think that we're at all adequate at this podcasting shit,
and we are not. But
We're
if you
not,
think
but
that-
if you think that. But more importantly, all the Patreon money goes into the giveaways. Now, like I said, this one's kindly donated by Rich. Next month, we will be right back into spending Patreon's money on giveaways, and we will have to discuss that off air as to what we're doing for next month. But if you want to join, jump on board, jump on our Patreon. Links are in the description. They're on the Discord. And if you join up as a Patreon, we will shout your name out, like I am going to shout out James's name. Thank you. Now, James stopped being a Patreon and then joined up again
Oh, he just wanted a second shout
within
out.
the same month. So technically, he didn't miss anything, but I'm still going to give him a shout out because that's what happened. But yeah, that's about it from me. Anything else you want to push?
I mean, apart from drugs to small children, no. No, look, that is lots of stuff.
Yeah.
There is lots of stuff on Blood Bowl, Thoughtless Bowl 2, get involved, and other things as well.
Yeah. No. Thank you very much for listening. If you have enjoyed it, God help you, because I think you've got mental issues. But if you have enjoyed the podcast, give us a follow on Spotify, Facebook, Podbean, Twitch, Twidbean, Discord. Jump into Discord, have a chat with us. You can also rate podcasts now on Spotify, which is something I found out recently. So,
Yes.
yeah, if you want to give us a score out of 5, yeah, I'm not going to tell you which score that should be, but we'll know. We'll know. And if you don't rate us, we'll just assume that we're a 5 out of 5.
Which, to be fair.
Anyway, thanks for listening.
That is all I have. Catch ya.
Thoughtless, casual gaming. Thoughtless,